Hi, you would have seen how we made this animation for our Fit Effectus branding video. And in this tutorial, I will take you through every step of how I designed that logo animation. So first we'll open up After Effects. Once After Effects is all open, what we'll do is we'll click on New Project and we'll open a new project for the logo animation. We'll go to New Composition and we'll name it as Main Animation. So we'll name it Main Animation. This will be a 1080p 30 project. You can feel free to change these settings as per your likings. And once we have all of this done, we will import our logo. So this is the logo I'll be working with. So we'll open the logo, we'll drag it to the timeline and we'll press S for scale and we can scale it so that it fits our liking. 40 something that LL. Yeah. So once you are done with that, with the logo mark selected, you can right click and go to pre-compose and name this as logo. Make sure you click the second option, which is move all attributes, and check this box and you click OK. So we have our logo pre-comp ready right here. So with the logo layer selected, we'll go to layers and auto trace. So what it will actually do is it will trace the outlines of your logo. So if you toggle the preview on and off, you will see the lines that it is drawing over there. And make sure you do not check this layer, this option. Just click OK. So you can see that After Effects has traced our logo's outlines. Now what we'll do is we'll go to effects and presets. We'll search for Saber effect and we'll drag it to our logo. You can see that it doesn't look anything like that until we change this one setting, which is layer mask. We'll change the core type to layer mask. So just to get rid of these outlines which are a little irritating, what we'll do is we'll go to the logo, we'll click U, so it will show us all the mask paths that we have. It is 2 in my case, so we'll select the keyframes and click on delete. So that will help keep our workspace a little more organized. And yeah, so now you can see that the logo outlines are starting to be visible. I'll drop the glow intensity down to 10% so that our logo is much more visible now. And I'll drop the glow intensity to 0.3. I'll change the glow bias to, let's just say, 0.45, and I'll change the core size to 2. So that is how it looks. I can change it to 5. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, 5 looks a little too much, so we can go for 3.5. And yeah, so this looks good. Now when we come to presets, we'll find a lot of options here. So because we're going for an electric logo, I'll select the arc reactor. So this looks quite electric. You can also go for the electric preset itself, but I feel like arc reactor just looks more electric. I'll drop the glow intensity down to 40 this time. And yeah, this is how it looks. And you can play with all of these settings right here. And yeah, just tune it to your liking. Right, so now we will animate this logo. So we'll come to the start of our timeline and we'll set a keyframe. So we'll check mask evolution, we'll check start size and we'll put it down to 0. And we'll also set a keyframe for end offset, which is over here. And again we'll step its value to 0. Now we'll move to 2 seconds and we'll change all of these all the values of end offset to 100%. 100%. So as you can see that the logo looks quite good with the starting animation right now. Now we'll move to the end of our timeline and we'll change the mask evolution to 1. So you can increase this value if you want like a faster animation, but I think 1 will work just fine in my case. And now we'll move 2 seconds back from the ending, and I'll set a keyframe for start offset. When I go to the end of timeline again, I could start offset value as 100. So right here you can see that we have the basic logo animation all done, all made up. So it is coming in, it is staying there for 2 more seconds, for 4 more seconds actually, and then it is disappearing. So that is the base done. Now what we will do is we'll come here, we'll duplicate this logo, or you can press Ctrl D, and I'll rename this second one to reflection. So once I have the reflection layer all set, I'll click on the reflection layer and I'll go to transform, and you can see a flip vertical. So right now you cannot see anything as such happening. That is until we change one setting, that is we'll go to toggle switches and find the mode drop down and select both of our layers and change their mode to screen, and you can see we have both our logos visible right now. Now we'll go to reflection, press S for scale, and we'll uncheck this option and change the second value to, let's say, -50, so that it is squashed down a little, and we'll adjust its position a little so that it gives it more of that realistic look. And to make it more like a shadow, we'll drop down its opacity to 50%. So yeah, this is how it looks. I'll just quickly select both the logos and move them slightly up so that both of them are visible in the frame. And again, I'll just adjust the position of the reflection a bit. So yeah, this is how it looks as of now. To give it more of this realistic look, what I'll do is I'll add some directional blur to the reflection layer. I'll give it a 90-degree direction and I'll change the blur to, let's just say, 50. So that is how it looks. As you can see, that is how it looks. You can feel free to change the value to anything that you prefer. 50 works just fine for me. So that is again now the reflection layer done. And what we'll do now is we'll make the floor layer. So to make the floor layer, what we'll do is we'll go to layer, new, and create a solid layer. We'll name it as floor. We just click OK and go to effects and presets, search for fractal noise, add fractal noise to the floor layer. Now in all of these settings, I'll change the noise type to block, and I'll change its contrast to 100, and I'll keep the brightness, let's just say, -25. So that is how it looks as of now. I'll open up the transform window and I'll set the scale to, let's just say, 75, so that the blocks are a little more smaller, and the complexity I'll drop it down to 3. So yeah, this is how it looks right now. I'll select it and place it under all of our other logos. And now what I'll do is I'll make it 3D. So for doing that, I'll toggle switches and modes, and you can see the 3D icon right here. So I'll click the 3D icon. So it is 3D. Now for rotation, what I'll do is click R, so I get all the rotation options. And the X rotation, I'll change it to 90. and I'll drag the Z arrow down so that it is covering the logo, right? Now you can see that there are some imperfections here, right? It is not covering the entire thing, and there is also some gap over here. So now to fix all of that, what I'll do is I'll go to effects and presets, search for motion type. I'll add motion type to my floor layer, and here you can see, so I will increase the output width just enough so that it is covering entire the entire width of the composition, and I'll increase the height so that it is covering the entire height, and I'll also click on mirror edges so that the edges obviously are mirrored. So once I have the height adjusted and the width adjusted so that it is covering the entire thing, I'll just click on the floor layer again and I'll recompose this again, name this as floor, or use the second option, check this box and click OK. And now what I will do is hide this layer. Now to make the floor layer more visible, what I'll do is I'll go to layer, new, and I'll create an adjustment layer. And this adjustment layer, I will place it between the logo and the reflection layer. And once I've done that, to the adjustment layer, I will add, go to effects and presets, and I'll add compound blur, right? So once I've added compound blur, I'll select the blur layer to floor, and I'll change the maximum blur. So essentially it is mapping it to the floor. So if I increase the resolution, so yeah, you can see that the reflection is picking up some elements of the floor, and I can change these values to make it look more realistic. So I think 80 is something that looks good. I can also try 100, but yeah, so 100 looks good. So you can play with the blur according to your preference, and yeah, that is how it looks. Now what I'll do is I'll add one more effect, which is CC glass. So I'll add CC glass to this adjustment layer once again, and what I'll do is I'll open up a surface. I'll select the bump map as floor. So again, if you want to see what is exactly going on here, so yeah, so this is how it was. So I'll add CC glass, select the bump map to floor, the softness down to 0. So essentially what it is doing is it is actually giving it a lot more texture, as you can see. And yeah, once I have the bump map to 0, I'll keep the softness as 0. I'll change the height to, let's just say 5, so that it is not as textured. So I'll keep it as 5, and the displacement I will set it to -200. So what does this do? It actually gives our floor layer a bit more depth and texture so that it looks more accurate visually. So that is layers done for the floor. Now what we will do is we'll go to layer, new, add one more adjustment layer, and we'll place it at the very top right here, and we will add directional blur. So once we add directional blur over here, we'll change the direction to 90 degrees, and we'll change the blur length to 500, and as you can see, it is having this glow effect. Now to make it more realistic, what we'll do is toggle switches, go to mode, and change its blending mode to lighten, which is over here. So you can see by doing this, essentially it gives it this glow that you see around it. So it gives it that more realistic view. So if you want to change the intensity, you can just press T and play with the opacity so that the intensity is done. It is, in my case, I feel like 25 is a good number to give it just that very slight bit of distortion around the edges and that lens flare effect. Right, so now to give our entire composition that 3D look, what we'll do, and just to make it a little more visually interesting, we'll give it this constant zoom. So for that, we'll right click new camera. We'll keep the name as camera 1 and the pre-spec 35 mm. So we'll uncheck these options and click OK. So we have our camera layer here. So we'll make these layers 3D, and the floor layer, because it is already 3D, we'll check the continuously rasterize option. So once this is done, you can also make your logo layer 3D, but again, all of this is personal preference. So now we'll select the camera layer, click on P, come to the start of the timeline, set a keyframe for -2000 on the Z axis, and move to the end of the timeline and change it to -1600. So if I play it all back, you can see it has this constant zoom animation which looks very good. And yeah, this is how we have made this animation. We can save it as logo animation. And that is how you make this electric logo animation in After Effects. Subscribe to this channel for more such content. We have a lot more tutorials planned up for you. And remember that good design is good business.